Chapin. Thank you so much for meeting with us today. For those who may not know, please can you tell us a bit about Mastercard and what the urban mobility team focuses on?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Grace. The Mastercard, as many people probably know, is a global technology provider, and we work quite a bit in the payment space. When I think about why urban mobility is important to us, there are a multitude of reasons, and I think what's important to start off with is how do we define urban mobility? What do we think about when we think about urban mobility? And in that context, we really think about three things, three verticals. Public mobility, which I think people conventionally define as trains, buses, ferries, that sort of thing. The second one is private mobility, so taxi, ride hail, bikes, e-bikes, scooters. And the third one is automotive. The third way people get around urban environments, they drive in their own car. And in order to do that, they need to park, pay tolls, pay congestion charging, even charge their electric vehicles. And in each of those spaces, we think there's opportunity to remove friction and make the journeys around urban environments just simpler, quicker, and more efficient. And the payments process sits right in the middle of all of that. And so we think we have a real value that we can add to the space by removing that friction and helping people get around urban environments more easily.
So you recently wrote an article for Movement touching on enabling scalable and frictionless urban mobility solutions for everyone. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said previously, we think about urban mobility in a couple different ways: public mobility, private mobility, and automotive. In the public space, when we think about maybe what we've done in the past, if you've ever ridden on the tube and Transport for London or in the New York MTA system, you've used what we call open loop system. So you can just tap your credit card or debit card or phone right on the gate, and you're off and running, no need to queue up and get in line. That's probably a little bit of a dated example, but we think it's still a terrific one for how we helped remove friction from the user journey. In that arena, we're still working toward making inclusion a bigger part of that journey. So how do we make sure everyone can ride on the tube or on the subway or on the bus, regardless of their financial status, even if they're unbanked and underbanked? How do we do that in a frictionless way? And so we're working toward items like that in the public mobility space. In the private mobility space, we're really trying to remove friction from that entire journey in private mobility. More specifically, an example might be we introduced with Free Bike in Helsinki last year an idea of tap and go e-bikes. So you just walk up to the e-bike, you tap your card or phone on a little reader that sits under the seat on the bike, and in about 10 seconds you've commenced your journey. And we think that is a terrific way to get new riders, travelers, tourists just on bikes and e-bikes throughout the city. So that's an example of how we think about it within that context. And in the automotive space, when we think about frictionless travel, we've been working with a bunch of the automotive OEMs to introduce in-vehicle payments. So when you go to fuel up your car, instead of taking out your phone or your card, your car can just communicate directly with the pump or with the EV charging terminal that says, "Hey, we know that I am approved to charge for this," and the payment just occurs directly over the air between the pump and the car. And so those are just a few examples, but I think that last one really could translate to tolling, to congestion charging, even to retail activity outside of the conventional car process. So anything we can do to sort of remove bits of friction from that journey and encourage ease of travel around urban environments is absolutely terrific and hugely value added from our perspective.
Yeah, that all sounds really exciting. Can you tell us a bit about the topics that you'll be touching on at Move 2023?
I think a lot of what I just talked about is really where we'll be focused is the removal of friction and inclusion as well. what are we doing to take steps to make sure that everybody can travel across these systems, regardless of if they fall into an unbanked, underbanked category, or if they're a regular traveler that rides on the system every day. And so I think we'll be talking a lot more about that. And some of the items that we're really excited about are that the tap and go e-bike solutions and the in-vehicle payments. And I think we'll be talking a lot more about that, as well as perhaps the future of tolling globally, and what we're hearing around the world and what we think we can do to help streamline those processes.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing some developments on that and seeing you at Move. So what can we expect to see from Mastercard in the next year or so?
I think a couple different things. I think mobility as a service has gotten a lot of attention over the last couple of years, but in some ways still remains a bit nascent. I think we're going to be working with real material concepts that can help to bring that to life over the next 12 to 18 months. I also think the parking space has made some incredible strides over the last few years, and still remains a bit fragmented. We'd like to help simplify that space to a degree, and work with some of the major providers in that to make the parking experience just a little bit easier for folks that drive around cities. We also are really focused on helping mobility operators reduce cost and increase ridership. I think everybody, whether you're a public transport authority or running a scooter company, really has both of those things in mind every day, and we have ideas for how we can bring that to life for them. And the last thing is, I mentioned some of our new and more innovative work around things like the tap and go e-bikes or in-vehicle payments. And over the next 12 to 18 months, we're really going to be scaling those up so that they are truly available on a global scale to every country and every city that wants to avail themselves of that. So really excited about what's coming up over the next 18 months, and can't wait to have the discussions at the show about that.
Great, amazing. Well, I look forward to seeing how that develops, and I also look forward to seeing you at Move. So thank you very much for speaking with us today, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Grace.